Hello, I'm Mathews, and this is my video for task number 2. This is for the explicit vocabulary instruction. I'm just gonna do a few seconds real quick to introduce that this is the science of reading, research, and methods to literacy instruction to further academic success, the integration of evidence-based multi-tiered systems of support strategies and assessment tools to improve academic success and literacy. This is the small group intervention, the introduction portion of the lesson of that plan. My face-to-face instructional setting of systematic explicit literacy strategy based on students' needs. And I'm going to go into teacher mode now, working with my students, role-playing as if we're just sitting down together as I start this piece. Hey students, welcome back. It's good to see you guys. Take a minute to talk with each other, how they're doing, how their day's been going, how they feel. We'll do an emotional check-in right there, typically with my students. I'm going to move my face out of the way for those of you who are watching this video, though. Don't want it to be in the way of what some of the images are that I've created. All right, so let's start out with this lesson. We're going to be talking about some words. Okay, we're going to focus on 3 academic words that appear often in your reading and writing across all subjects. The first word, as you see here, is analyze. We're also going to talk about the word infer and the word evidence. These words are going to help you understand text more deeply and explain your thinking clearly. Okay, so let's look at this first one. Word number 1 is analyze. The word analyze means to break something into parts and examine it carefully. When you analyze a text, you look closely at details to understand what the author is saying. For example, I analyze a paragraph by identifying the main idea and key details. So as we look in this meaning here, when you analyze something, you break it into parts and examine it carefully. And we're going to look at some examples, and we're going to work through examples in various texts in this lesson. But when you analyze a text, you look closely at details to understand what the author is saying. The word number 2, as I said, is infer, meaning when you infer, you're using clues from the text and what you already know to find meaning. Just remember, the author doesn't always say everything directly, right? So inferring means to figure something out using the clues from the text. Maybe sometimes use what you already know. For example, I infer how a character feels based on their actions and words. So the author may not come right out and say, this character feels angry today, but the character will walk in and slam something down, and they'll describe their face looks angry with their lips, in a certain way, and so you kind of infer, oh, this author's describing someone who's acting angry, and that's one example of inferring. The next word is evidence. Sorry, let me move my face out of the way here of my screen a little bit here. So you see the visual here before I put it in front of it. So yeah, with the word evidence, the word evidence means information from the text that proves your answer. So you're finding evidence. It could be a quote, it could be a detail, or a fact from the text. For example, I use evidence from the article to support my answer. So why would you say the author thinks this? Well, on this paragraph, on this page, this says this. You could even say these 3 words work together. You analyze a text, you infer the meaning, and you support your thinking with evidence. You will use all 3 today as we read. And so we're going to look at some things. Let's look at one text example. And when we get into, apologize here, technical things here. I'd be showing this to the students. Sorry, I don't mean for technology to be in the way here, but I'm doing my best. So yeah, these three words are going to work together today. We're going to read a few things. We're going to analyze the text. You infer the meaning. You support your thinking with evidence. And so let's practice some examples of how we can use all these things. Okay, we're going to use this in science, in history, and a math word problem. Let's move on to the first example. So I'll read it and let's talk about it. Here is an example of text with science. During a plant growth investigation, students placed identical plants in two locations. One group of plants received sunlight for 8 hours each day, while the other group received sunlight for only 4 hours. After 3 weeks, the plants with 8 hours of sunlight were taller and had darker leaves. The plants with less sunlight grew slowly and had pale leaves. Scientists recorded daily measurements and observations throughout the experiment. So if we apply these words, you analyze, you're going to identify the parts of this experiment. You're going to infer what you could be getting out of this. And so with this example, I infer that increased sunlight helps plants grow better and stay healthier. Well, the evidence is that it shows that plants receiving 8 hours of sunlight were taller and had darker leaves, while those receiving only 4 hours grew slowly and had pale leaves. Anyway, I would go on with this lesson and share with the students a historical example and also in a math word problem. Examples of using these very helpful words in reading so that they understand that analyzing and inferring and finding the evidence in text is very important and crucial for being a successful reader. I hope this has been effective for today in this video. So I just want to say goodbye and thank you for watching.